what One World Quest is today is an organization that is dedicated to bringing the skills of the future to kids and youth, but also anyone that needs to learn skill sets, whether they're technical or soft skills, to be able to be successful.
The idea of the school, they always teach you need to get anything and just start to learn. And then why you go to university? Right. Why I'm going to 5 years in university to take a master to then do other 5 years in a job to learn again? I'm like, that's waste. You need to be visible. It's like we have so many ways to be visible, and don't scatter yourself into many places. Hello everyone, welcome to Like Marketing. Today is our 9th episode with a guest, and we have a special guest, really great person. I like to work with her. I like to know her as a friend. Please welcome Bridgett. She's the founder and CEO of One World Quest. It's a nonprofit, and I'm part of it, and I love her heart for it. And I want actually her to share more and also to share about her background. Please, Bridgett.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Giuseppe. Hey, everyone. So I am Bridgett, and I'm the founder and CEO of One World Quest. And One World Quest is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. We service the community by teaching educational training programs. So we teach kids how to code, program, robotics. We also have workshops in the community to help folks understand how to public speak, communication skills. We also have leadership skills and different types of workshops to help people succeed. And we also work with small companies as well as large companies that need to train their management team or their executive team. So overall, we have a robust training programs. The idea is to educate our communities and help them thrive.
That's awesome. And how everything started? How did you get there?
Okay, so the story is actually really amazing because I'm from Colombia originally. So my family my grandfather is from a small town in Colombia called San Roque, Antioquia. And I was born in Florida, but when I was little, I would go there for the summers. And I got an opportunity to spend a couple years in this small little town. And it's in the outsides of Medellin, Colombia. And so the people there are very humble. It's a small little town, or I should say it used to be a small little town. It has grown a lot. And one day I had already come back to the United States, and I was studying at Nova Southeastern University. I took a group of friends to the small town just to visit, where my family's from. And we were talking English, and we were just walking down the street. And there was this kid who heard us, and they're like, "Oh my God, are you talking English?" And so he said in Spanish, and we're like, "Yes, we're talking English." And he said, "Could you come and teach us? We would love to learn English at our school." And so I'm like, "Oh, okay." It was the middle of the day. I think that it was towards the end of the day, so school was already out. And I'm like, "Well, is your teacher gonna be okay?" She's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yes, trust me. You should definitely come. Come and teach us English. My teacher will be fine with it." And then I used to go to that school. It's the Escuela Normal Superior de San Roque. That's the school name. And so, sure enough, so I talked to my friends, and one of them from France, one from Poland. And we're like, okay, I guess we're teaching English tomorrow. And they were on the vacation trip. And we're supposed to spend an hour. But we ended up getting there in the morning. And the kids were so excited. There's 30 kids. And we didn't even have a lesson plan. We were just like, we're going to go spend some time with these kids. And we ended up spending the entire day. It was such a memorable experience. The kids really tried hard to learn how to communicate with us, just because they wanted to make sure that they can have conversation. And from there, an idea arise. And I'm like, there's so much need in so many different areas of the world. But in this little town, folks really want to learn English, and they want to learn different skills. And so I went back to my university at the time. I was doing my MBA. And I was the president of GBSA, the Graduate Business Student Association. And I proposed to get a budget in place to take a group of students to do an experiential learning trip. And we did that. And, that was the first official trip that essentially we did. And from that, One World Quest was born. So, the company started in a very different way. It was actually, we were going to do experiential learning service trips. And we were taking university students abroad to teach folks different skills. And so the program we did, the first official program we did was an entrepreneurship a workshop program where we taught folks how to become entrepreneurs. So that saying of Zig Ziglar, where he says, don't give a man a fish, teach a man how to fish. And that's exactly what we wanted to do. We wanted to give them the skills. And from there, we continued to do trips, and then COVID hit. So the company took a little bit of a turn, but that's how it started. That's how it started in 2017.
Wow, that's amazing. I mean, I can totally see that, that many times a country that outside, I mean, you can see also here inside, like inside US, but like country outside, they always see English as like, oh, everyone want to learn English because it's the language you speak. That why, like, sometimes even with my wife speak, she's always say like the nice things to live in a different country is that like you have two language from the beginning. You have to learn English, you have your own language. Where if you're born in US, you speak English, you don't really care about any other language, since like with English pretty much you can go everywhere.
Exactly.
And it become more hard. But then like when you go in another country, there is this fire of like, oh, I need to learn another language, and they see you like as a special person because you can speak English. But at the end, like it's great to speak a different language, but at the end of time, like I think like every language has power, and mostly Spanish is like, even if English is used as the language that everyone speaks, but there's still like a giant community of Spanish speaker.
Yeah, absolutely. There is, and for me, what the whole piece was interesting was that when I lived in Colombia, I was 9 years old, and I was the English teacher at the school. Because there was no English teacher. And so to be able to go back and be like, okay, I'm going to teach this town. But from that trip, basically 5 companies got started, and they were able to produce like job opportunities for so many people. So it was not just about the English. It was about inspiring people and creating like hope and opportunities for folks. So that was really motivational.
How did you come with the idea of using students from college to do it? And now, like, I mean, you could have decided to be like, oh, let me just get together with friends, wherever, and use them. But then you trying to give the opportunity to teach to people from college. Why you decide to do that?
So honestly, that came from the opportunity of me being in a position where I had a budget for SGA, and we created opportunities for students. When you're a part of SGA, you basically get a budget from the university, and they're like, here, create activities for students. And, traditionally SGA creates your typical like events and food, and they bring sometimes speakers. But I thought, what an amazing opportunity would it be to take students from the United States and other parts of the world, because Nova Southeast University has a robust amount of international students as well. So when we did that trip, we had folks from Haiti, from the Philippines, from France, from Spain, actually all over. And so it was like, but how amazing would it be to take them in this very small little town of Colombia where they haven't been exposed to that type of atmosphere. And then obviously, with minors, with taking high school students, you have all the legalities behind it of like getting parents to sign. But college students are barely adults, right? They just became independent, and they're like, okay, I want to do this. But I feel like they're also hungry for knowledge, right? They're hungry for being able to learn different experiences, and they're also open. But most importantly, there's a small component of like that giving back, right? I'm a millennial. Is that I say that right? I don't know.
Yeah, I believe so.
Probably. And I feel like we definitely started revolutionizing the way people act and think, where we have a social responsibility behind what we do. And it is that social piece that it's like, we want to be successful, but we also want to give back. We want to essentially like get far in life, but we want to turn around and say like, who can I help along the way? So yeah, that's really why I said, college students is the perfect demographic. And then obviously having the backing of a university financially, because they sponsored the trips that we took.
Yeah, awesome. And then how then now you have transformed, because that's how you started, and you say COVID does make some changes to the company. Like, then if people are asking themselves, like, what is now One World Quest? Like, what does it mean? Also, you start in Florida,
Right.
now you live in Colorado, we are in Woodland Park. That means that how all is still connected.
Yeah, absolutely. So, well, that's how it started. And as an entrepreneur, I'll tell you that like pivoting is probably like the favorite dance of every entrepreneur. You got to pivot. And so we noticed that there was a lot of opportunity as well for students to learn different skill sets, specifically in the digital literacy aspect. So we worked with companies like Handy Inc., which is a foster care program out in Florida, and we taught kids how to code. We partner up with different organizations such as Logi School, which is a computer coding program in Europe. They were brought here, and with Code Ninjas, which is also an organization that teaches kids how to code, but it's traditionally based here in the United States. And we found that there was a huge gap where, as much as we wanted to do good, we realized, oh my God, like if kids don't learn how to code and program or have at least a little bit of technical skills in today's day and age, come 10, 15 years from now, they'll be without a job. Because most companies in most jobs nowadays require for you to have some type of technical knowledge. And we're talking about today. In the future, in the very near future, you're going to have some type of programming skills as well. So we decided to take it on, to bring it back home and teach organizations that, really supported underserved community members. And we did that a couple years in Florida. Of course, with COVID, we couldn't really travel. There was a lot of restriction with traveling. And so with that, I also, was looking for opportunities to expand and to find like another area which was really going to adapt this program and expand even further. And Colorado Springs, where we are right now, is considered the top cities for like cybersecurity and technology. Like they want to advance in these areas. So I took an opportunity here with a grant that got awarded to UCCS, and I was leading a program called the Cybersecurity Program Apprenticeship Program here, and it was only for a short period of time. And then I decided, okay, you know what? This is the opportunity to relaunch One World Quest here in Colorado Springs and see what we got going on. And what One World Quest is today is an organization that is dedicated to bringing the skills of the future to primarily, of course, kids and youth, but also anyone that needs to learn skill sets, whether they're technical or soft skills, to be able to be successful.
That's awesome. And then, that's where I met you and 1 Million Cup.
Yeah.
Know your story. And also, I know that your goal is to be able to expand for some of the major states, but at the end of the day, you want to reach all the United States and the world with your idea and your goal. For this reason, if people are looking right now and you work for the university or, connect with Bridgett, if you want to bring these values, this idea to the university, or you feel like a connection with her, I totally suggest you to connect with her. Again, all the information in the description. But yeah, I think it's amazing. I mean, one of the reasons why we connected is because I always, coming from university, I always found so much of lack inside the training and the teaching that people gives you through college.
Yeah.
And even this type of experience, in reality, they teach you more this type of experience about the life you're gonna be living than not even what you learn. I mean, coding is great. I think you need to understand coding, but the reality is if you don't know how to sell yourself or to value yourself or understand what's going on in the world, you're not gonna be able to really make much of the result, and people, they're gonna use you
absolutely
all the time. I have friends that they're there's a friend that he's a great coder. He's really good. And he has been, I think, over 3 or 4 years working for a company. He doesn't make even 6-figure yet.
Exactly.
And I'm like, how that's possible? Like, I made 6-figure in my first year of like working. It's like, how, like, and it's all because like the idea of the school, they always teach you need to get anything and like just start to learn. And I'm like, then why you go to university?
Right.
Why I'm going to 5 years in university to take a master to then do other 5 years in a job to learn again? I'm like, that's waste. Like,
yeah, absolutely. And you know what? You brought a huge point. I talked about like the front end of the company and what the products are is that essentially the services that we offer. But I didn't talk about like the huge opportunities like that happen the behind end, right?
Yeah.
And this is that, you know, One World Quest has specialized in building college programs, internship opportunities for college students. And we give them the skills to be able to negotiate effectively when you go into an interview, right? To be able to publicly speak, to be able to not just have that technical skill, but also the soft skills, as mentioned before. And that way, when they do graduate from college, they get a fair job. They get a position that they're happy with versus, you know, like I just spent 4 years, 5 years, and now I have to go back to like, you know, a fast food area to like work because I can't get a job, right? I can't put something on my resume. So aside from all the programs I mentioned, we also have high school programs too, where students have an opportunity to do volunteer service hours, community service hours, and they get mentored by the college students. So the program is actually students teaching students, including myself. I'm doing a PhD program. And we work with all the college students where they're able to look at the strategies behind the company and look at the marketing piece, the finance piece, the different areas of the business itself. So, you know, if you have a business student that wants to understand or want to be an HR manager, then like this is the person that's going to be hiring, training our people, right? And the high school students also have a huge part because they also want to learn, you know, what is it that I want to do when I graduate high school? It's a very big thing that you ask a student that is 18, like, what do you want to do? What do you want to study? A lot of people are like, I have no idea, right? And so giving them the opportunity of like, I kind of like marketing. Marketing is something that is interesting to me. So then they spend a year with us or a semester and they immerse themselves in the marketing department. And whether they like digital marketing, so we put them in all the social medias to not only manage but produce new like do different campaigns, or they like to be in promotions. That's the opportunities that they're getting, not just at the high school level, but college level too. So I know when you started and you met me, that was a passion of yours that you said, you know, I definitely am interested in helping with this area because I feel like there's not enough college opportunities. Can you tell me more? Like, what was that piece that you thought we can make this into something good for college students?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, again, coming from university, I would say Italian university is really famous on the level of like research. Like some of the best researcher like in the world that comes like from Italy because like all the focus on engineering also. It's all about majority of my friends that went to do PhD in research.
Right.
They do a lot of that side of it. And they have great result. But at the same time, I look at them and sometimes I'm sad because I speak with them and after 5 years, they still making like 2,000 a month. And I'm like, bro, like you are changing the world and making 2,000 a month. There are people like that. They don't change the world and they're making more than you because they know that they're valued more. But the heart is so much about changing and by helping the world that they don't care about like the money. And that's fine. But that's why I think we should like help on the other side to open their eyes and be like, hey, it's fine if you ask more money, you know, like, and if they fire you, that's not your only opportunity. You have the full world around you. There is so many opportunities in business. Not every business is gonna give you. Like when I finished my master, I literally spent 3-4 months just doing interviews because every time I was getting a job, like some interview I was not getting anything like they were, but then some other I was getting accepted and they were like, oh, your paycheck would be 25,000 a year or 30,000 a year. And I was like, It's like,
You can't live with that here right now.
yeah. I was like, wait, I need to live with my parents for other 5 years because like I could not rent a apartment and live. Like it wasn't possible with 25,000.
Yeah.
And I keep doing interview, and as I was keeping doing interview, I was getting better. Right. And was getting confidence, where in one point I noticed that when I was speaking with people, I would just like, in the beginning I was all like afraid. I didn't know what to say and everything. I was getting so tired to do interview because I was doing like 10 to 20 interview a week.
Wow, that's a job.
Yes, I was just like, when I was on the phone with people on the video, like I was just like super chill, calm, because I repeated that thing so many times.
Right.
That like, I didn't really care what they were saying. Like I would just like, this is what I do, this is what I learn, this is what I know, this is what I want.
Yeah.
Do you have it? No, okay, cool. And then I was going, and people that were like, I started to receive this different like people that were like,
who is this person? We gotta pay them more.
Yes, he was like, they were like, oh wait, okay, you can do that. You think they were like, oh, you can speak English. Oh, okay, wait, we can speak about it. And then they were like, I was getting more and more people interested. Like I was getting a lot less known. I was getting more people like work through it and be like, okay, we can think about the price and everything. Yeah. And it was funny because when I came in the US, I was going to Charis Bible College, right? And I was with my now wife. We were just dating. We went to Culver's because we like the mozzarella sticks, like that they do there, like fried cheese.
Yeah, mozzarella
cheese stick.
Yeah.
And we went there, and it's funny because I see these things like we are hiring for manager, and I was like, oh, just for fun, let me apply for it. Then like while I was there, I just applied online, and they called me like in the afternoon. It's like, oh, can you come in for an interview? And my wife was like, wait a second, like they just called you for manager position with how? Like you never worked a manager. I was like, well, I just applied. And I was like, I wrote some, and then it was like, I went in for the interview. She was like, are you going for interview? I was like, yeah, why not? I'm like, but you cannot work right now here. I was like, okay, it's still like a fun, I can have an interview. You never know. They might give me a visa.
Yeah.
And I went to the interview. I remember I was speaking with them and everything. I came out from the interview and my wife was like, how it went? I was like, pretty good. They actually wanted to give me the job. I was like, how much they were going to pay you? Oh, I asked her at least for 35 per hour. And she was like, for a fast food? Like they said yes. And I was like, yeah, they say yes. And I also told them that I need Sunday off and I'm going to school in the morning. Yeah. And they were okay with it. I'm like, yeah, they were totally okay with it. And she was like, how is I'm like, I mean, what? I just told them like, this is what I have, this is what I can give to you, and this is what I need. And I was like, oh wow. And did they hire you? I was like, oh no, then because they saw that I don't have the visa and everything, they're like, we cannot provide you with the visa because fast food they work a bit different.
Right.
But like she was like totally like shocked because I have like her sister had been working for fast food for years.
Right.
And she never was able to get to manager. Like she always had time and they always pay minimum wage or like 17 per hour and everything. And it's like you just enter there, like you just ask it and they give it to you.
Absolutely.
And it was like, yeah, because I was like, I knew like I never went there with the idea like, let me try. I was more with the idea like, I don't care like if they say yes or no. Like I don't have nothing to lose. Let me just go through that. And this is the things that they don't teach you in school. Like they always teach you like they have the power and you don't have nothing and you have to like plead for something, where like I learned through doing a lot of this interview for 3 months is the opposite.
Exactly.
Like you have actually the power. You have something they want.
Exactly.
Like they are lost without you. Have to think they are lost without you. Don't think about there are other 1,000 people like you. No, you are unique. You have a value that no one else has.
Like they'll be missing out if they don't hire you.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I don't feel like I don't never go with the fear like, oh, I might not get hired. Just be with the confidence like, if this does work, I have the next opportunity.
And you bring in a very important point, which is something that we teach during our workshops for like self-development. And it's that piece of you have a standard, right? Like every single person has a blueprint of yourself, right? This is what moves you, right? Like this is what tells you, okay, I drive a certain car because that's what my standard is, right? I have a certain house because that's what my standard is, right? And you put yourself to a position standard where you're like, I'm not taking anything else other than $35 an hour, right? Because because I'm worth this, right? And you're worth a lot more, right? But at that time, in your mentality, you're like, this is what I'm going to be able to work for. Yeah. They either offer it me and, I'll bring value to their company, or I'll move on to the next, job, a position or opportunity that can provide me with what I need. And I think that's important for your viewers to understand, don't settle for less, right? And that's kind of the piece for college students, is that you do have to put in the hard work, right? You do have to find a way of, you went to a lot of interviews for you to get to the point of getting confidence. So you put in the time to teach yourself and invest in yourself of like, what questions do they ask? Like, how confident do I feel when I walk into a room and I'm answering these questions? What is it that I'm bringing to the table? Because if not, they're not going to hire you. They're going to see right through you, and they're going to say, this person just has a college degree. So does like the other 100 applicants that I have. But there's something about this person, and it's that confidence that they bring. So I like that. That's really good.
Yeah, and I think that's the reason why I like to work with a college student, like speak into their life, because I'm like, hey, you don't need to go through all that. Like, for me, it happened and I found out and understood. But like, I mean, this is also the same for business or entrepreneur, there are so many people that are trying to sell the best message, the sales message. Yeah. And it's true, there is a message in you, but a message without confidence is gonna always go on. Absolutely. Like, you're not gonna close. The majority of best close that I have seen in my life, they didn't came because I had the script or I was following this like $100,000 script and everything. It actually came because I was so sure of the value I could bring to that person.
Absolutely.
And the same things that like people, they were just like drawn to me because like of that confidence, they were like, it was like a magnet for them. Oh, I feel this guy is saying he's gonna do what he's saying. Like, exactly. And sometimes you can do, it's a bit different between interviews and when you have a offer, because one of the way I do sometimes with my big offer, for example, like the coaching I have for $150,000 a year. Right. Like, I always tell people, there is a refund connect to results. If you don't get the results, I give you the full refund. Right. And everything, because I'm confident on the results. I know that I can get you the results. I know I can get you to $1 million. And for you, 150,000 once you get to $1 million is nothing.
Absolutely.
It's like it's gonna be it doesn't matter anymore at that point. Yeah. But so before, it was hard for me to get even to that, because how much you value. You make a point before, you say like, you ask $35 and for it's easy. Yeah, because I remember I was working in Switzerland for, I think it was like $50 to $75 per hour. Right. Then like for me, 35, I was like, oh, I'm totally down payment. Right. I'm like, I was used to it, but then like how you go to the next steps. Right. Like once you make 70 per hour, how you are now to start to think like 100 per hour or 500 per hour. Yeah. Well, I think that is also a piece of like being okay to be uncomfortable, because a lot of people stay in the comfort zone. And that happens a lot, where you're like, you're making the $35 an hour, you're thinking, hey, it's good, I can pay my house, I can pay my bills, right? But it's really about growth is a constant thing, like you constantly have to be like, great, I'm making $35 an hour today. What can I do to make $100 per hour, right? Or I'm making $500,000 right now. What could I do to make $1 million? And for folks who are entrepreneurs and maybe they all also doing nonprofits and social ventures, it's there's a wrong misconception of if you're a non-for-profit, you're not supposed to make money, right? Yep. And that's actually something that I personally thought too. I'm like, I'm just trying to do good. I want to change the world. I don't care about the money. It doesn't matter. We don't need this. And what happened is then the less money you have, the less opportunities you can offer. Yep. And then you can hire quality people, because you can only offer them like an unpaid internship versus like a paid internship or a full-time job. So with that, it's like, the NFL was a non-for-profit. They make a lot of money, right? Yeah. But it's the opportunity of you being able to know your value as a person. And if you have a company, know what value you're offering to your customer as well. So I think that's a huge piece. And so
with your coaching and things that you do, like what is it that you offer your people? Like how would you coach me, for example, if I tell you, hey, I want to impact, instead of 100 people here in Colorado, I want to reach 1,000 people, and I need funding to do so. Like, what would you say to me?
Yeah, I mean, like, obviously depends a lot on the person, but at the end of the day, like, everything goes down to visibility. You need to be visible. Like, it's like we have so many ways to be visible, and don't scatter yourself into many places. You know, like, there is the idea of like, don't put all your eggs in one basket, but also don't put all your eggs in like hundreds baskets. You know, because then like you're gonna end up be having like some basket empty or like not working. Also, you don't give you enough time to learn how to make it work. Because like at the end of the day, no one start like by knowing everything, and each marketing strategy takes time. Then like just be the best. Let's choose few ways. I normally say like the perfect number is 3.
Right.
Don't have more than 3 ways. Like find 3 ways, 3 things that you like to do and you're good at. And then like just focus on that 3 ways and focus on making that the best. Can be social media, become the best on social media. It's pay ads, become the best in pay ads. Make your best website. Make your website create a lot of sales. Because sometimes people, they have become so good in social media and ads, but they don't work, and they're like, oh, the ads just waste money in the ads. But then I always challenge them to see the numbers. Like if you have 100 people coming to your website, or like better, like you have 5,000 people coming to your website, no one buys. Maybe it's your website the problem. It's not converting your website. Maybe your website, like what you say in the ads, doesn't come clear on your website, and people they just leave. You know, and then that's where I challenge people. Don't just give up too easy, like on anything you start, but spend time doing it. I'm the first one saying that because I run digital marketing company and everything, I tend to try everything, because, you know, like I want to make sure that I can tell people what is best, what is not working. But also I ended up noticing that by doing that, it's hard to me to perfection everything, because trying to do too many things, I don't have enough time in my life to become the best. And this is the reason why even with my agency, I decided to take some of the service away and trust other people that they have done that for 20 years. For example, I have a friend, he does pay ads, he just do meta ads, and he have done for a decade. He has more experience than me. Why I'm trying to get to his same experience when he has already that? I'm focusing on giving that to him. We help each other, and we do. But the same things comes with you. Like if you're trying to go from one level to another, it's like it's always look around you what like people can bring and how you can become visible. Because it's not about you searching for the clients, but it's like make you like the client need to find you. Because there are people already with the problem. There are already people that they're looking to help. Like you, for example, happened to me. Like because I saw you at 1 million cup, and you already had something that I wanted to create, I wanted to help people with, then it was like a perfect connection. I was like, yes, I'm in. Then because you made yourself visible, you bring, instead of like, there is the mentality of like, you need to search for the customer. Like, like trying to bring, like, I have to call as many people as possible. And it's good. Call is not wrong and everything. But instead of to force yourself to fit in the mind of that person, actually make an offer that solves the problem of people that they already have. You know, like.
And that's a good point. And honestly, when we do an open house for like our coding programs, we basically put the students in one room and we're doing like a demo for 30 minutes. They're learning how to create their first game. And in the other room, we're telling the parents about like what they're learning and the skills. We don't even tell them about like to sign up, because by the time that we're done with our presentation and the kids are done with like coding their first game, we tell them, hey, let's go to the other room and take a look at your kiddo did, right? And they go into the room and the kids are the ones who basically tell the parents, like, can I please sign up for this? This is absolutely amazing. I don't have to do a thing, you know? And it's been like a 100% conversion rate to where the students who come to the demos, they want to sign up. And obviously for like our underserved families, we have scholarships as well. But no, I think that everything you mentioned is super important for folks to know, because I agree. I mean, I just went on a partnership meeting yesterday, and I was really excited to talk about like One World Quest and how we did the college programs and the high school programs, and we taught kids how to code, and we did workshops in the community. And then I said, but we also care about the environment. So we do beach cleanups and mountain cleanups and park cleanups. And we, out of the 17 sustainability development goals the United Nations has, we tackle 5 of them. And I was very inspiring. And the lady was like, wow, that's a really great job. And so she's like, after all the conversation I had for like 5 minutes of me talking and expressing about One World Quest, she's on the computer, she's looking at the website, and she's like, please don't take this the wrong way, but I'm looking at your website and I have no idea what is it that you actually do, right? And it's kind of what you said. It's like, I want to do so much, right? And I allow students to come in with their own ideas, and I'm like, perfect. You want to do a beach cleanup and solve like, the problems we have in Florida, picking up garbage, so like the turtles and all that stuff. Absolutely, run with it, right? But it's like, where are we able to kind of, what could we do to make sure that we're like the best at that specific thing?
Yep.
And we can partner up with other organizations who specializes in beach cleanups or environmental, pieces. So that's actually really important for folks to know, because a lot of people want to do a lot at once. So
yeah, no, and I mean that's the thing. So like I was looking with One World Quest, and it's like, the main things that inspire people, like all the people I know in the members, they're member founded, they always think about the college student and think about like kids. Yeah. Then like you have to focus on that. Yeah. Because that's what unify everyone. Like, I mean, happen to have a beach cleaning, fine, it's fun. But that should not be something part of the website or part of your marketing and part of everything. Like it can be a place where you can bring people in and say like, hey, today we are doing like a special event where we are going through, if you want to come. But at the end of the day, it need to be related to actually the main focus and, like, that's mission of the company. Yeah. And that's you can see like some of the best, like even in the restaurant, not like fast food and everything, like some of the best like fast food, they have like just a simple product. Chick-fil-A, it's all about chicken. It's only chicken. They like all their marketing was about like, hey, we're saving cows, eat the chicken. And it's okay, that's it. Like they didn't make Raisin Cane. I love Raisin Cane. Raisin Cane, that's the only chicken finger. That's all they sell. I know. And they make money with it. It's like, they make enormous. Starbucks.
Even now, it's just like 3 burgers in their menu. Like,
like Starbucks, same things. They make, there is other concept, like Dairy Queen make a lot of things, but Dairy Queen is not famous like Chick-fil-A.
Right.
Like, if you think about like your mind, like whenever, I always challenge people sometimes when I speak with multiple people, I say like, what is your first fast food come to your mind?
Chick-fil-A, just because they're closed on Sundays, and I'm like, I always want Chick-fil-A on Sunday for whatever the reason.
What is the second one?
I guess McDonald's, but I don't like McDonald's, honestly.
Okay. What is the third one?
Burger King, Wendy's, yeah.
Like you can see, like each one, the first 3 one that came to your mind, they're actually the simplest one. Like McDonald's is nothing crazy. It's not high quality. It's like not like amazing, but like it's so like they all focus on real estate and location that you can see it so many times that it's visible. Like you literally, the name of the people, the name of the one you name it are the one that you see more often when you drive.
Right, absolutely.
It's like Chick-fil-A comes also the fact, like for them, you're a believer, then there's part of that, but also what you were saying, that they're closed on Sunday. Yeah. They like, people think that because they're closed on Sunday, that has created like problem in the marketing, but actually that's us helping in market, because now everyone think like, oh, they are the one that closed on Sunday. They have like a special like
a special place for sure. It's like how can you, and they make a lot of money. Yeah. So
during the week,
even the fact that they're closed on Sunday, I would say being okay to fail is the first thing. Like being okay and to do trial and error. It's probably the first aspect, and digging in deeper in yourself and constantly being able to be okay with pivoting.
Because in the long run, I think everything can work. It's all about like how long are you gonna play the game. Yeah. Like sometimes people, they think like they're failing, but actually it's just because the harvest is not come yet.
That's true.
Like the crop is just growing and you feel like I'm not eating, I'm starving, but like you just need to wait another day and then another day and then another day.